Hey folks, Dave McKenzie here, Canadian Trucking Magazine and Chrome and Steel Radio. And guess where I am? Do you see behind me on the windshield? Yes, that's right, that's a sticker. I'm over here and I'm at the at one of the fine stops we have going on this week as we are checking the vehicles, or I'm using the golden we, as we have our fine ladies and gentlemen in uniform doing safety checks on vehicles. As you know, this week they're mainly looking at tires and what's going on with the tires with your vehicles and things of that nature. And they're doing a darn good job. And don't forget, this is for our safety, especially any of you that run the mountains and run the rocks. Last thing you need is a truck coming across the way and taking you out so your family doesn't see you. So they're going to make sure it's safe. They're going to make sure the tires are safe. They'll make sure the vehicles are safe. They just finished doing a level 1, and I got to tell you, they're some of the most competent officers I've ever seen. We also are lucky today because besides the fact that we have these fine people checking out our vehicles, and we got people from the commercial vehicle enforcement, we have the different law enforcement like Lethbridge Police, Calgary Police. They're all here looking after safety on the highways, checking the trucks, making sure we're okay. And we have a special guest here today. We're lucky enough that we get to see Carl. And Carl, of course, is from H&R. And he is I guess, called Fleet Safety. And let me tell you, Carl knows fleet safety. And he's got some tips for us today. And I'm going to flip the camera around here for a second, and I'm going to show you what exactly Carl's talking about so I can zoom in on it. So if you guys can stay with me for 1 minute here as we flip the camera around. And we flip. Sorry about that, folks. I know we're live here. And of course, when we go live, that's when everything screws up. Throw that on the ground. Didn't need it anyways. Thank you. If we go around to the side of the truck, I'm going to this around onto Carl for a sec. Hey, Carl, there's something that you told me about that I hadn't thought about.
Disc brake trailers are becoming a lot more common as fleets go that way for safety purposes. And there's one particular item with respect to doing your pre-trip on a disc brake trailer that you may or may not know about. It's a very simple item, but it will save you a lot of aggravation in the long run if you take care of it immediately. This right here is a dust cap. It's at the end of the caliper assembly. And if this dust cap is missing, what will happen is all your road debris will go inside and gum up the inside of the bushing, and your caliper will seize, and you may end up with a disc brake fire, which you wouldn't expect ordinarily. So as part of your pre-trip, make sure that they're in place on all your axles. It is a out-of-service event.
It's an out-of-service event. And what would you say would be the most out-of-service items that drivers are forgetting when they roll in here?
Today, it's been load securement.
Load? Oh yes, good tip, Carl. I never even thought about that. They opened up the back of my trailer and they checked load securement. So if you haven't checked that yet, you better make sure you got straps, or at least your load is properly secured, because you won't go much further if it's not. And that's for your safety, drivers. If you open that door and something comes out, you can get crushed. So once again, this is all for your safety, and that's why they're out here, these fine people in law enforcement, and Carl from H&R. Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Dave.